Yo, good morning. It's your boy Mike Nice the Barber. We are out here once again with the morning check-in. Checking in on you. You make sure you tap in and check in on me. You know, some days I'll be missing. So make sure you tap in and say, yo, Mike, where you at? What's going on? Hope all is good. New weekend, yo. Weekend is gone. New week, Monday. Grateful, man. We hit the able to hit the floor. Feet hit the floor today, man. So if you're not seeing it like live right now, like it's what 8:35. If you're not seeing it right now, and you see it a little bit later, just type in "yo" in the comment box. Let me know you tapped in and listened. You know, it's all good. TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, all that, man. We on everybody's block, taking over because I got the right people with me. You know what I'm saying? Which is you. And we rocking and rolling. 38 to Dawn, yo. What up, son? What's good? Another day, Brown Line Borough. Shout outs in order. L, what's goody? We made it another week, man. And we got more time to push it out again and do it again. You know what I'm saying? Got more time. God gave us a little more time to keep going, man, and build and follow our dreams and all the things that we want to do. We got time to keep going. Good morning. We are out here. What's good? What y'all got going on? All right. Well, you know, the Knicks won again. The Knicks went up 3-1. Shout out to the town. Shout out to New York City. You know, I'm a fanatic, so you know, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put it in that work and get it out there. You know what I'm saying? I got you, L. Yeah, yo, they just still building it and keep going and keep climbing. So I love that. And shit, what else you want? And I got the family involved now, man. Finally got my family to come on in and say, you know, go Knicks. Can't beat that. Hey, can't beat that. You know, baby boy bouncing around. Even got my whiz cheering for the Knicks now. Go Knicks. So, you know, sometimes people don't have a team or they just bounce around to other people's teams and stuff like that. But come on in. Come on in. There's room. There's always room, man. There's always room for the winners over here, the winning circle. And being part of these fanatics, man. Hey, so we talk about different things. A little bit of sports, a little bit of videos, fashion, news, all that type of current events. We cover all those topics. So sports, right? This is Bill Haney, man. Devin Haney's dad. He's been getting into it with Floyd. And now Devin Haney fired his dad, is what I'm seeing, man. I don't know how that's working and how true that is, but it definitely going around that he joined Floyd's camp after losing to Ryan Garcia. You know, what you think about that? Like, should you leave the nest? Like, should you leave the nest and go with somebody else? Is it a slap in the face to your dad to do something like that? I'm going with Floyd because, you know, he is the champ. He's been arguably the best ever. So I'm going with him. Sorry, Dad, but I lost my last fight. I'm up and coming, and I'm on my way to greatness. But you only can get me to a certain level. So, let me know, y'all. Is he wrong for jumping ship on his dad because he wants to go be great? I think Bill, man, I watched them back and forth with him and Floyd, and Bill say, I'm still I'm still in the street. I'm a street dude still. And I was like, dude, you 50-something years old, you talking like that? Yo, good morning, TikTok. Like, you still doing that? I thought we was elevating, man. Thought we was gonna keep going, but I think Devin got the hint and said, "Yo, I'm getting out of here, Dad, because you can't take me nowhere." We couldn't take him nowhere. I don't think it's betrayal though. Personally, I think sometimes you gotta step away from the nest and you gotta see other things. You can't just do one thing and see one thing and then it's so much. Okay, diving into it. It's so much more to life than there's so much more to life than just the way you think and one thing that you're seeing, right? You got to look through different lenses. At times, you always, no, all the time, you got to look at different lenses. It's all right to go with what you seeing and the way you think, but it's so much more out there. I think you would be holding yourself back to so much more. So, but Devin Haney to do that, it's hard. It's hard to go ahead and leave the nest like that. It's somebody that's been pushing you your whole life, that's a former boxer, and just push you your whole life, and then to say, "Well, Dad, you're just not giving me enough. This ain't enough. I need to do more." Some people would say that's betrayal, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not. Because if I'm successful, Dad, you're successful. I'm your son. I'm gonna make things great for all of us. I'm gonna make everything right for all of us. But you holding me back, trying to live through me. So that's what a lot of people do. They get caught up living through their kids. And we all do, everybody with kids, we have all done that to a certain degree, a certain extent, because of our shortcomings or the decisions that we made to go one direction when we know we probably should have went a different direction. And we didn't work as hard and we weren't as focused as we should have been. Yo, good morning. And we wasn't as focused as we should have been, stuff like that. So it's a lot to think about. It's a lot to think about. But I think parents kind of they become a little selfish too with Pass, what's up? Floyd made that move from his father, and look at his travels. It will be hard, but look at Roy Jones Jr. step away from dad and achieve greatness. See, that's two different boxes. Thanks, Pass, for tapping in. Yo, I ain't see you in a long time, Pass. We ain't talk, man. I've been in New York. I don't know. Sidebar. I don't know. I ain't seen you, man, in 20 some years. What's up, bro? So tap in sometime. I'm glad you tapped in today, man, for sure. But right. Floyd got a grief on grief. Floyd got away from dad, got with and became the greatest, right? Right? His dad was nice too, but dad said Roger, right? Roger's the uncle. Got with Roger. And Roger was the Black Mamba. The original Black Mamba is Roger May. Wait, Roger's the uncle. Yeah. So and he achieved greatness. So sometimes it's all right to leave home. It's all right to do that. I think a lot of times, man, we just force the way we think life should be on our kids, right? Which makes sense. It makes 100% makes sense, right? But you have to lead your kids up to a certain point to where they're gonna make their own decisions, right? That's how it's gonna be. You just want them to do right and be a good citizen and make their own families and make good decisions and be successful. That's what we want. Rolls Royce. It's kind of tough, man. It's kind of tough. Ramon, what's up? Talking about leaving the nest and parents pushing all their beliefs on their kids and trying to run the kids' lives, so to speak. Because Devin Haney left dad. Devin Haney left his dad and went with Floyd, the money team. Why wouldn't you? Nick Hader, what up? I know you hating right now, but that's good because we winning. But you know, Devin Haney, he want to go with Floyd. Yo, he got beat up. You got beat up. You lost your last fight. I'm going with the money team. I'm going with the money team, man. Sorry, Dad. And is that right? Cat, you know you the perfect person to get on. Pushing things on our kids. Pushing stuff on our kids. And we got Devin Haney leaving Bill. You know, how you feel about that, man? Tap in. There's a thing called emotional incest. It's when parents have the unhealthy emotional dependence on their child. Tap into that, man. Ramon. Dive into that a little more, a little deeper, man, because that's too quick. You gave that little one, you know. Some of us don't even know what that means. You know what I'm saying? We need to elaborate a little bit. Yo, Cat.
Yo, what's going on?
What's going on?
So first of all, here's what I'm saying. Outside of, you can hear me? Outside of, so let's put the father-son relationship to the side, right? You have somebody in your kin. Boxing is a sport, but it's also like people who train you in your camp. They're giving you these things, so techniques and all that to go into the ring and stuff like that. At some point, if the people that you have around you advising you, training you, and all that, it's not working, you have to leave. You understand what I'm saying? And so, and then adding the father-son relationship back to it, it might come to a point where because he's his father, he's doing things that a normal trainer or somebody won't do. You feel like you understand what I'm saying? Like that thing, or he may have just felt like, yo, you know what? I need to disconnect from this and just, you know, go whatever the situation was. I don't think he didn't betray his father. He didn't owe his father any loyalty when it came to his career. So to leave him and that's like to leave one job or leave one situation and move on to the next beat. Like if you feel like if it's better, then that's you do what's best for you. And like you say, emotional incest. His father might be, you know, trying to live through his son's success. Nah. Is it white?
Cat, what you got, Cat?
What I got is this right. First, I'm gonna say this right here, Mike. I can't see you because you all black, so I can't see you.
Oh, it got to be your phone.
Yeah,
but what I'm gonna say is this right here, huh?
Now go ahead.
Okay, what I'm gonna say is this right here is just like, you know, we start off around our way. You start off with a job at Kennedy Airport, you know, stuff like that. But then you eventually go to Manhattan and get a job. Then you rise up through different jobs in Manhattan, right? His father took him as far as he could take him, right? His father don't have the experience on that level. That's how they played him with the weight. Oscar De La Hoya and Bernard Hopkins, they got over 32 years in the game.
We
right?
was, but we talking about boxing right now.
If you 5 pounds overweight, that it
Devin
can't
Harrison
no
and Bill. And
but if you 3
Devin
pounds
Haney
overweight,
and Bill Haney.
They can't make you lose that weight because there's too much weight to lose. In order
Thanks for tapping in too.
Still be a fight, you just got to pay the fine. His father didn't know these little details like that.
Go Timberwolves, go Knicks.
Much trying to make himself a star himself on social media and not paying attention to the things he should be paying attention to, but he don't have the long time experience. He took him to where he could go.
Or as he could go.
That don't mean that Devin got to stop paying him. He'll still live. It's just that you can't be out front when you don't know what you're talking about because you don't know the waters that you in there. You taught your son how to swim in the pool, but now you're out there surfing in the big tidal waves, and you don't know that world right there. It's time for you to step to the side.
Right, you don't want to go into deep water, man. Stay in the shallow water.
Yeah, he don't know what to do there. You don't know what to do there at all. And And another thing too, would get somebody in so much trouble. They always trying to follow this mafia stuff with all this loyalty stuff. Look at this. I got a lot of friends. I had friends at 5, 6 years old that we don't look at the world no way the same now. Right. We're still friends, but we can't be around each other every day, all day, because they're going in the direction their life's going in. I'm going in the direction. And so all that loyalty, trying to be today when all that, you doing nothing but set yourself up for failure, because the energies change as you go through and meet different people at higher levels. You got to do things and handle them in a different way.
Right. Some people not ready.
You got to take the time out to get educated on that new level that you're entering into.
Right. Because he never made it there. Bill got to a certain point, and that's it. You got
and also too, Bill wasn't no fighter and don't know how to fight. Don't know how to fight. So, like back in the day, this always was a part of boxing. But since the social media, they try to change it. Back in the days, anytime you made it in boxing, you got to a certain level, Don King will hire a Manuel Stewart. Don King will hire Manuel Stewart to be your trainer, or they'll go get somebody like what's his name? The guy. Manny Pacquiao's old trainer. Like a lot of people hire him.
Yeah.
They get experience.
Freddie Roach or something like that.
You over at a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have to. You can only extend to a certain level with mediocre. So I want to say the shout out to all the Knicks fans. I know y'all feeling good. I'm happy for y'all.
Freddie Roach.
Your team is doing great. Hope y'all keep it up. I would definitely like to see the Knicks win.
I appreciate that.
Eventually.
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 And Mike, I want to tell you something else also too. What experience does is, if you remember, Adrian Broner was just flying high before the Madonna fight, right?
Yeah.
Then they offered him more money.
Mute your background, please.
Gonna have his own all access and all that stuff like that, and that's all him and the guys that brought him up from the Golden Gloves knew about. They just worried about getting a bigger payday. But what they didn't know, that Mayweather's team know, is that Madonna was using those horsehair gloves where your knuckles could be felled through that. They didn't know about this, and he ends up beating Broner up. But then as soon as Mayweather fought him next, the first thing they did was check the gloves, because of long-term experience of being on that level. And they said he's not fighting in those gloves right there. And he gave Mayweather the business in the bigger gloves. So what would he have did to Mayweather with the horsehair gloves? Mayweather would have got knocked out too. But bringing those Broner bringing in those Golden Glove trainers, they didn't even know they checked for stuff like that.
Right.
So it get to a certain level where you got to leave certain people behind in order for you to continue to rise.
Indeed. That's what you happened, Cat. You can't hear? You good?
My ears popping.
Okay. Yo.
I can hear
peace.
Some, but not 100%.
Peace, bro.
Peace, fellas.
What you got?
Peace. I just want to add that, everybody's right. I agree with everybody's perspective. That is awesome, man. But there's one thing sometimes I feel like we jump to the end conclusion, right? Because we talking about the boxing standpoint, but from a personal and black people standpoint, we set this tone. We forget about what we doing, right? We forget about the image we set, what we do to each other, right? There's a way he could have went about this too. He could have kept his father on, right? It's like when you go to court. Like I was I was locked up, right? And my legal aid was not helping me properly in court, right? So I wanted to fire the legal aid, right? And go what's called pro se, right? When you represent yourself. Now, the judge told me, listen, right? Because I caught him doing some foul mess. And he said, listen, that was good, but you using books from the 70s on Rikers Island. He said, don't fire a lawyer, you know what I mean? You're doing good, right? But you're going to need somebody else, right? Now, I'm just using this as an example. I'm not saying he needs his father. Right. But I'm just saying he could have kept his father on, right? When the judge told me that, it did help me. And I ended up beating the case, right? And now I'm free today. I would have been in there for the rest of my life, right? But I mean, he could have kept his father on right? He could have still went to Mayweather, right? He could still work with Mayweather and keep his father, dead. But I think his father and Mayweather, I don't know if y'all saw the argument they had.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right? Yeah, they don't, his father, I agree with it. I'm not saying, he shouldn't. I'm just saying to throw this in there as devil's advocate, to play both sides, right? Because I agree. His father doesn't have a good way of talking, you know what I mean? But Mayweather, if you look at Gervonta Davis, his relationship with Gervonta Davis, and just a lot of the things, Mayweather is not all there mentally. You know what I mean? Emotionally, he's not all there. So what's going to happen when people do, what's going to happen with him, he's going to be a good fighter. He may help him, with his fight.
With skills.
But they're going to ruin that relationship with his father. And that relationship is way more important. It's not about the income. It's about the outcome, right? You might win that fight, but what he's going to do is lose the war of family unity. And they set this example in the tone for everybody else. That's the most biggest problem in our community is our family structure. Everything is breaking us up, right? They don't need that stuff to win fights. You could have done, it was a better way to go about it. That's just my opinion.
So let me ask you this.
Right?
Do you think...
I just feel like he could have handled it a little different. It's one fight. He didn't even lose his belt.
Well, let me ask you this.
But let me say one thing too. It's not just one fight. It's a couple of fights. This is what happened is when Devin starts getting into trouble with Lomachenko and in his fights, his father don't know what to tell him. He don't even have the experience to tell the come up. And another thing too. I'm not saying go with Mayweather because Mayweather ain't so much a good teacher when he's always trying to make everything he says about himself, not about the fighter. It was years before we even heard a word come out of Tank Davis's mouth because we didn't know what he sounded like because Mayweather was always sitting next to him talking about himself. He just needs to get with a good trainer that knows boxing. And I would say not go to Mayweather. Go and find somebody else. Like, for instance, they got the guys out of D.C. that trains real good. That
Baltimore.
But I'm talking about the guy.
The Muslim guy who wears the kufi?
No, not him.
Okay. I like him.
He's out of DC, and sometimes they work with Tank Davis. Sometimes they work with They used to work with Broner here and there. But it's a real militant guy out of DC that's a good trainer. He could go get with them. Somebody can stay him on top of his game and teach him what he needs to be and been around the game long enough to be able to make their way through it.
So you think Bill and Floyd could do it together though? You think that? You think Bill and Floyd could get along with the son in the middle of that? I don't think Bill could do it.
What I'm saying is do what you have to do. Don't even involve Floyd. Go get with a real trainer. Because Floyd's just trying to steal your life. If you notice, every time a big fight come up, somehow he jumps in the middle of it and make it about him. He don't even care about you. He just trying to steal the spotlight. He do it with he was just talking about being Wilder's trainer. When Wilder had got knocked out, it's what he do. He ain't serious. He's not serious. You got to get with a trainer that knows what he's doing. You too. That's what
right. But that's exactly what I was saying though. That's you saying exactly what I was saying. You know what I mean? Yeah. I wasn't meaning he had to get with Floyd. I'm talking about the back of the family, the part of the family structure. Right? Yeah. We gotta think about this when we're talking about in the media. You know what I mean? In the eyes of the world, we can't keep letting everybody see us divided. Right? That's a big thing. You know what I mean?
You don't. But you also don't want to destroy your career, so-called trying to be loyal.
I said that. That's what I mean. See, you combining them two. I'm talking about one and the other. You can protect your career without dividing your family. You know what I mean? You don't have to divide your family just to protect your career. You know what I mean?
You can, but if your father is detrimental to your career, then it's time for him to step down. The side.
Yeah, that's. I don't think you're missing that part. I already said that part. That was the first thing I said.
No, I
So
know that.
he does have to step back.
You saying don't let him and Mayweather do whatever with this guy's, with what's going on with Devin Haney. Like I was saying, if I was putting extra pressure on him that don't need to be there, it's going to be R.I.P. on him and all that stuff like that. His father's just, because of the social media and likes and views, his father's trying to be a bigger star than a fighter, and that don't need to be.
Bill kept saying, "Yo, I'm in the street, man. I'm still in the street, man. I'm one of them street dudes. Get out of here." Yo, Prince, what up?
Yo, I just want to chime in for a second, man. I know a couple other brothers, because this is a hot topic. Color brothers are trying to jump in. They like, Mike, let me
I'm gonna step out. I can still hear y'all. I'm gonna eat this food.
Me and Rod, we grew up together. You know what I'm saying? We played basketball together like best friends with these kids. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Rachel, we all played basketball together. And Rod knows, he knows, because he said it to me before. Just because you blood don't make you related. That's the first thing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we take for granted that this person is our family, this and that, and they got the best interest. I don't care if it's your father or not. Sometimes he may not even have the best interest for you. That's just a fact. Some of these fathers don't have their own interests first. You know what I'm saying? And when they see that their son is multi-talented and this and that, automatically they want to play this big role in the kid's life. I agree with Ron. I think family structure is important. If you look at the most winningest women's basketball team in college right now, and you look at the UConn, who won an NCAA championship, both coaches said one thing that was very important. When they recruit a player, the first thing they look at is how the players treat their parents. Right? Do they respect their parents? And how do the parents respect them? Because that's going to play a major part. Are they coachable? Are they relatable to other players? Do they have a winning mentality? All of those things play a major part. So understanding that the family structure is extremely important. However, when you got a family member in your family that's going to be detrimental to your career, you got to really look at that. You got to really look at, is this person detrimental to my career? I love my dad, but Dad, I need you to sit your ass down for a second. While this man, who's a professional, who knows what he's doing, is going to take us to the next level. But I do not love you less.
Right. Take us to the next level, not just me.
Mix the business of it with the relationship of me and my dad. I never had a dad. So I don't know what it feels like. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it feels like, but I can imagine how important it is to have a father in your life. But once we got this thing, right? It's called neurosis, where the kid is brainwashed to think that the father can't do no wrong. Right? Where the kid thinks that the father is a superhero. Until he get of age when he understands that the father makes mistakes. He's not perfect. And then you start to make your own decisions. I think that boxing is an individual sport because they only want to get in the ring, but they should have some type of structure behind them. And a lot of the boxers use boxing as a lever to get out of the hood, to get out of the communities, and they never really had sound structure. A lot of them.
Right.
Tyson, Mayweather, you know what I'm saying? And the list goes on. Just think about the history of the boxer and what environments they came from. You know what's crazy? And I'm going to let y'all go.
Yeah.
What is Mike Tyson's father?
We don't know about him.
You said, who is he?
Who is Mike Tyson's
Nobody knows.
I don't know.
Rolls Royce, what you got? Peace. Can't hear you.
Yeah, his mic went down.
Yeah, your mic is down, Royce.
But Mike, let me say something. Let me say something else too.
Go ahead.
You just talking about the family structure, right? But let me tell you one thing about the family structure too. Like in baseball with Asher, right? They like the family structure, but what they do when they start getting around 10 years old and on up to high school, they want the parents to stay away from going to the dugout to try to say something to the kids. They saying they only want their coaches to coach the kids. I don't care what you know, stay away from the dugout. They don't want you over there no more. They want you separated from what they're teaching them from that point on in the high school. And then when you get to the high school level, they don't want you screaming onto the field trying to tell you something what to do. It's separation, big separation, because they say now your kids with more experienced coaches, and the level just climbs. It climbs.
Right.
But in boxing, without all the regulations and all that stuff like that, without all the
Yo, good to see you, Pass, man. Appreciate you, man. Love you, bro. Later. Yo, Rolls Royce, you back?
Yeah, without all the regulations, we still can't hear Prince.
Can't hear Prince. We can't. Prince is muted, but I don't know what's going on with Roy's mic.
Bluetooth. Turn up your Bluetooth.
Oh, there you go. I can hear him now.
Roy's got to turn up his Bluetooth.
Royce, your Bluetooth on?
Royce, turn up your phone and turn up your car.
Yo, I think that
What about now?
Yep. Got you.
Yo, my perspective is slightly different, and this is the thing. Just an idea. Yo, I had my hips replaced a few years ago. My son came down. Both of my sons came down here to work with me doing construction. There's a major issue between grown men. Now, my son's 32. My other son was 21 at the time, and it's a major problem. I'm teaching my sons construction. I'm very good at what I do, but there's a thin line between the daddy stuff and the business stuff, and I can't draw the line. It's the biggest problem for me. And my sons are amazing with tolerating my bullshit. I would not have been able to do it as a man. I would not have been able to. And I'm a very aggressive man. I'm trying my best to be better. But I'm only saying this because there's probably 100 conversations that they have where the son don't know if this is daddy talking or if this is the trainer talking. And that would be the reason why you're really gonna have to cut ties sooner or later. Because again, my son, he tolerates a lot of crap from me, man. And I respect and love him to death, man.
Yeah.
My business is thriving because of him. And I can't do it. I don't know how to not be daddy in one voice and boss in the other voice. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah.
So hold on, Cap. Let me ask you this, Royce. And this is just a question. Is there a line? It's a respect line, right? Not that you don't respect your son, but it's like I'm still the dad, so you can't be on my level really because I'm still trying to tell you, but when do you fall back and say, yo, go ahead. You can be the man.
This is the thing, man. And Mikey, I'm a difficult person is what I've come to know about myself.
Okay.
And I say this to you because so he has to figure out creatively how to say what he feels, how he feels. I do everything that I can to not attack his manhood. It's just this is our ongoing battle in every day of work. And so we're both getting better at it. We're both getting better at it.
Yo, Mike, can I ask Royce a question?
Yeah.
Please.
How do you feel about another contractor telling your son another way of doing things? And how do you think they will accept that direction, knowing that their father told us one way, this way has worked, but now you got another contractor who also knows what he's doing, telling him another way to do it?
Because of where I am and how I am, I would love that. My son is the most loyal cat on this planet, bro. So I couldn't kick him out. And the only reason I couldn't kick him out the door is because he knows what I'm capable of doing and not capable of doing. He knows I need him. I think if we both, like I have other friends that do this. If he went to go with what, he'd be amazing working with any of my other dudes. He just wouldn't do it because it would slow me down. But we come into that place sooner or later. But just in relations to, this boxing thing, I think that the son has got, the dynamic is difficult for the son. I can't imagine what it would be like as a son.
Yeah, that's hard.
But there's greatness in dads teaching their sons. Because I can assure you, my son is a master at what he does. I
spent a lot of time, a lot of detail. I put a lot of energy. I've told him 100 times, dude, you would have been fired if you weren't my son. I've said that 100 times. But over the years now, like I said, he's a master. The flip side is this dude has learned to eat a lot of crow, bro. He's learned to eat a lot of crow. And I respect him and love him for it.
It's I think with you, Royce, is that, like you said to me last week before, like, you very opinionated. I got a really, really strong opinion. So it'd be some of it is like when son says something, sometimes you do gotta fall back and listen and listen. Like you told me. Remember you told me my call and you was like, yo, you gotta listen and take a few days to think about it. Remember we had that conversation? That's what it be sometimes. It just be, I think, so now we going to this. It's like the old heads don't listen to the young heads. You know that thing? Like we never do that. And sometimes they got to get
getting better, Mike.
Right, no doubt, no question. I'm just saying they got a voice too. Even if they could be wrong, we still gotta let them have their voice. But Bill's too far, too far going in the street and we're running Devin's life. Go ahead, Kat.
Yeah, let me say something too. I don't know if y'all familiar with Sean Porter, the one that got beat up and retired by Terrence Crawford, right?
Yeah.
If you ever see the relationship between Sean Porter and his father never let him grow his wing. He got to be an older guy and his father was still screaming on him about little things. He told him, don't you think I'm going to tell you what to do? And you never going to be who you truly could be or rise as high as you could if somebody stay on you, control every little thing, and you can't think for yourself. So a lot of times you got to teach them how to fly and you got to back up and let them soar by themselves. Or soar on the next level of whoever's teaching them on the next level. You got to get out of their way. Or else you ain't going to grow.
Oh, Rob want to get back? Yeah, man. This is so last week I saw those two going at it, Floyd and Bill, and Bill was just like, Bill was too much, Royce. I don't know if you saw it, but Bill was just
I seen it.
Yeah.
I seen it.
I ain't see it. Royce, you ain't see them two going at it? Yo.
Nah.
Bill was
I have seen him in other instances, and you're right. He sees this more as his show, and his son is working for him.
Yeah.
His show.
Yeah, it's wild. Rob, what's up?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to because I was trying to say before about the spirituality aspect of it, right? Like, and the Willie Lynch syndrome aspect, the division. You know what I mean? He's good. When I said it ain't about the income, it's the outcome. Sure, he's might. I really think he might even win better with better trainers, Freddie Roach, Mayweather, Roger Mayweather, etc. But that's not gonna matter at all when it comes to the religious aspect of it and the social aspect of it. That's gonna be out the window. Most people who have these kind of develop these bad relationships with their parents like this, you end up having a bad life. You end up having a bad life.
The thing in what you're saying, which is 100, so much of this stuff does not have to be in front of a camera.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
If I'm your manager and I have something to say, it's very easy to pull you to the side and not make it a public scene. And then
that's right.
If we added three more brains to the process, nobody would even have to know what we was over there talking about till we did it in public. But somebody typed that he's a Muslim. I'm Muslim also.
That's me.
All of that's
me. I typed that.
So
yes, correct. Yes. That's what I'm saying. And then, the people who are not or who have never, studied Islam or been around people in Islam, that's going to go over their head. They're not even going to factor that in. They're not going to factor that in. That's a real big thing. It's a heavy thing that they, in his life.
Brother, you know what I mean? Comfortable with the idea that for anything for $1, yes, I am holding my daughter, but we getting $1. That makes sense to people in this world. And so what you're saying is over the heads of so many people because we live in a place where the dollar is all that's what's worshipped.
Right,
so
right.
At the end of the day, you're right. There's much bigger things going on here than winning titles. Right.
That's right. All that stuff is whack. And I'm saying this because I watch even with my brother, right? The same thing happened. My father was the one who got us in basketball. You know what I mean? He taught us a lot of the things, but as we got older, my pops was real aggressive, just like Devin Haney's father. He was on drugs and he was real. So my brother didn't want him around, but me, of the things I was going through, I understood that we needed to take the lessons. Right? The lesson was way more important. Now we look back, and I hope he don't get mad if somebody say this, but now his part of the life after basketball is crazy. And my father passed away. He didn't even go to the funeral. So inside, most successes he have, I know on the inside, is killing him. It's killing them. And after boxing, if they don't patch that relationship up, he's gonna have a bad spiritual life. Is it proven that they had a falling out? I don't know. No. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that that's why those things are important. If he's right. A smart man, he understands. Right. Maybe they talked about it. You know what I mean? That's why I said maybe. You know what I mean? I'm not putting it final. I'm just saying for us, for the rest of us watching, and that's another thing. A lot of times we watch the celebrities or whatever, and we are judging their life and their scenario based off our experiences. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of them, they have to deal with other things that we don't have to deal with. You know what I mean? We don't have to go through that. So we can make a judgment from where we sit, but we're not in those shoes. Exactly.
You know what? I want to say something too while y'all was talking about the Muslim stuff. This is another thing that I was looking at too that nobody didn't even bring up. I have lived around Muslims for a lot of years, right? And one thing that is very, very serious, I've seen so many people get beat up for this right here, is that you do not violate Ramadan, right? It's really, really serious, right? And this guy comes and say, because of the fight, which is a business thing, that he's going to eat during Ramadan. And that is a violation right there. And how do we know that he's not being punished for doing it?
Wait. No, there's always exceptions. It's called feasible to Allah. So there's exceptions. It's like making prayer. And sometimes you can't make Fajr or Asha or Maghrib, or sometimes you can't do it in a space where you can put your prayer rug on the floor and you're allowed to do it sitting down. There's always exceptions. For that exception, he probably had it. If he didn't eat, he probably would have died.
No, he would have. He shouldn't have been taking a fight during this time of year, but he was violating the law, the overall law.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's not violating the law. He's not violating the law. That's not violating the law. If you have an exception, if you have a reasonable exception and it's feasible to Allah, it's okay. It is okay.
I think that all of that didn't need to be posted one way or the other also. See, this
yes. It goes back to that. It goes back to that. You're right. It goes back to that. That's what I'm saying. The image. That's what you have to protect that image, especially of the family. Right? If you understand the Willie Lynch, you heard the Willie Lynch letter, right?
Yeah.
You understand that? That should be at the highest for us. We have to put that should be first and foremost, because this is a design for this to happen. Somebody designed this to break up the family structure so everybody can see it. That's why they said, I'm not saying it's true, but they in the letter it said they tied the man to a horse, to two horses.
What you mean?
His arm and one arm over here, the one arm over there, and beat the horse. But they did that in front of everybody so everybody else can have fear in their minds. You see what I'm saying? And this is what happened. They want you to do this. They want them to bicker like this in front of everybody so the rest of us could do it and none of us could succeed. And they will have all of us go and join these sports leagues. And these sports don't give a F about us. They don't care about us, our family. It's weird, man. I said this last time when I was doing.
Yeah, they don't, but you also got to realize that it's different levels as you go up. Like the guy, Rayford Austin used to be real good in basketball and in street ball, but when he got to the league, it was different rules he had to apply to. It's different rules at different levels.
No, well, it wasn't the different rules that he had to apply to. It was the restrictions they placed on him.
It's different rules at different levels.
Well, the thing is, this is why I'm talking about Willie Lynch. That's a slave plantation. Sports is a slave plantation.
It is. But if you want to be involved in it, it's different rules. He could have saved the man. He could have saved the man in the parks. He got no money for it, but if you want to play at different levels, you got to play in a different way.
He was never a street ball player. He was never a street ball player. Street ball was something he did after, right? That's where people get the misconception. He always was a true point guard. Always played school basketball from when we was children. He was never a street ball player. That's what people think. He was never a street ball player. He became that. People just put that title on him. That's why he was still able to transition, because it wasn't new to him. It was never new to him to make it that way. He didn't go from street ball to the NBA.
Right, he was always under the whistle. He was always under the whistle, and then
always under the whistle.
And then he was able to adapt to the
street. Transition is different rules on different levels. You have to switch and change up. Devin Haney's father took him where he could take him to. You just shouldn't be putting all your business out there, but you took him where you could take him to. It's time to switch to the higher level stuff.
Right. Look at Ron Artest. Look at Ron Artest pops, right?
We started off with that part. Like, why are we still saying that part?
Look at Ron Artest, right? Ron Artest's dad had him in the projects all night, all day playing, but it came a time of changing of the guard. That's what's happening now, right?
He had to go to Riverside.
Where everything is changing of the guard. NBA changing of the guard. With, relationships, everything is changing of the guard now.
You got to step up to the next level and do what's being done on that next level if you want to make it.
Let's go, man. Let's go, man. We needed this today, man. We need to talk about some sports too, by the way. You know what I'm saying? I've been dying to do this, but once I saw Bill and Floyd going at it, and I was like, yo, Bill, what you doing, man?
I ain't like that.
And I don't be feeling Floyd all the time. Right. I don't be feeling Floyd all the time.
He got sugar in his tank.
Yeah, silly stuff like that. Man. Yeah, Floyd ain't wrapped too tight when it comes to that. He's a proven boxer though. He's A1 skills. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you need to stick to that.
You know what? Look at this right here. If you look at the history of Gervonta Davis, right? And this, you can't take what they saying 100% because 2 months out before every one of Tank Davis's fight, him and Floyd's always getting to a beat. It's just to draw more eyes and attention to what they doing. And then they friends at the fight, Floyd's giving them instructions and all that. You can't always fall for what they using to build the momentum into the buying of the pay-per-views, because they get to a fight argument and not speaking, running up to every one of the fights that they had. It's repeated promotion that they do.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of inflated stuff going on because I seen.
They do that before everyone is like 2 months out, him and Floyd ain't speaking.
Right. And just like when when Bill talking that big time talk, and what's his name? Executioner, what's his name?
Yeah, Bernard
Hopkins whispered in his ear, "Yo, meet me in the bathroom." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You ain't see that, Royce? You ain't see that? He pushed him. Yeah, it's crazy, man. But I just wasn't feeling that interview with Bill. Well, not an interview, but they were just going back and forth. And Bill doing it for likes. You know what I'm saying? Because he did say, hey, man, we just talking. And then he said, yo, you a bitch ass nigga. I'm in the street, nigga. I'm still in the street. I'm still in the street. That's all I kept hearing him say. And I'm like, you can't take your son to the next level. Son, you got to get out of there.
But you know what I say again, bro? The biggest thing, man, is like when you make a scene publicly, then you got to live up to all of that crap. And at the moment where you should be, putting business first, eat a little crow yourself, you can't do it now because of all of the stuff you talked on camera yesterday. So, these cats put themselves in. Yeah, he made himself a big deal, and now in front of everybody, he's got to take the load now, which some people's ego can't deal with that, man.
Can't do it.
But then he came on afterwards talking about how he won the argument with Floyd Mayweather. All he wants is the attention. That's all he wants.
Yep.
And he's getting in the way.
Hey, Royce, you remember Pasquale?
That's my yo. What's up with that?
He was on earlier. He was tapping in, man. I was like, "Dag, Pastor, you gotta tap in sometime." You ain't
know
seen.
What? And that's the crazy. When we was talking about Prince, I was like, so how I grow up knowing Pastor and all of them cats as much as I know them, but didn't know Prince the same way. I don't understand.
Same thing with Ramar. You should know Ramar too. Rafa and Ramar. They had the cardboard boxes walking around the neighborhood. They was when cats was breakdancing, they was the floor rockers. Crazy. Because and like Cat, you know, Ramar, that's Rafa's brother. When you were saying yeah, that's his brother.
Okay.
That's his old, like he got him about a year older than him. Grief on grief.
Hey, gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
What we talking about? What we talking about today?
Oh, we was talking about. Did you see Bill Haney and Floyd Mayweather going at it?
Yeah.
Right. So, and I was just saying how, you know, sometimes the parents live through their kids when they couldn't do it, and they kind of force their life on them, their shortcomings, so to speak. And sometimes you got to know when to let go of the kids and let them be them. So they
Mike,
can.
I'm gonna sign out, gentlemen. I'm still listening. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day.
All right, Royce.
Okay.
Peace.
Sometimes you got to be able to let them grow wings, like Kat said. They got to be able to grow their wings and flourish and you know, blossom like a flower to get to their true greatness. And it's kind of hard, and sometimes the kid will feel like they betraying the parents. They don't want to hurt the parents' feelings, and then they'll be stuck in the world where they can't move. And then the dad, like, you being disloyal if you leave. But it's better for all of us if I do leave and go to a better trainer, because you can't take me but so far.
Well, first, where's the minister? The minister was he not on today?
Minister was on.
Oh, okay.
But he was long-winded.
I want to say, you know, one of the difficult things that I think parents have, and I'll be honest with you, Mike, this is the difference with my mom and my dad. Sometimes parents don't know when their roles have to switch.
Yeah.
So, as a father, in his particular case, but my dad has been different. My dad is always the transition of going from being an authoritative figure in my life to influential. He made that transition really easy. When I became a man, he wasn't on my back. It's like, well, I taught you everything. I'm a rely on you to let those influences guide you in your life. And we all know when it comes to mamas don't shift that off. they still feel like at times, especially daughters, struggle with their mother sometimes when they're grown women. What I will say is, I didn't like it. You know, I think I heard somebody say, I don't like it that family matters are put, you know, out public. Like, you know, we could just have these conversations in the back room. But I want to speak from the father's perspective first. Sometimes, and I want to get y'all perspective on this. Sometimes it's who's not willing to take responsibility, right? So let's say in the camp, let's say before Devin Haney lost the fight, and his father's telling him do X, Y, and Z, and he's a little, you know, resistant to it. And let's say the reason he lost the fight wasn't because of his father. But now it's being portrayed when I get new trainers going to new promoters and going to a different camp. Now you're making it look like it's me, when the responsibility is you lost the fight. Sometimes I think people struggle with that, like where the person that lost immediately blames it on the trainer, blames it on my dad. And then what's going to happen when you get into the next fight and you lose again? It's the harsh reality now that, okay, maybe it's you. So I wanted to look at it from that perspective, but I think what the dad may be struggling to with is, I built this machine, I built my son up to here, but Yahweh, you were right, Mike. At some point, you take him so far that somebody else can take him to the next level, and you can't sit there and go, well, this is my car.
Right.
Like I'm hold on to it, but somebody may go, nah. He needs better gas, he needs better tires, he needs better rims, and you're going, well, no, we always had these rims. And I just think that the father may be struggling with his own limitations, because for the first time in his son's life, you were limited. And when we got into this fight and we had a plan A, and it didn't work, you didn't have a plan B for me.
Right.
And I think what the father should do is, I know you guys know Mayweather. Do you remember when Mayweather made the switch predominantly for a lot of his fights to Roger Mayweather? So the funny thing about it was Mayweather made the switch. It was like because Roger, from the offensive perspective, but after the Cotto fight, Mayweather went back to his dad because he said, you know what, I'm getting hit too much now. Yeah. And I need to go back to my dad for that defensive prowess that he used to give me and get back to that. So sometimes if the father take your hands off, he want to go, let him go. Don't make the complaints. And if you were right, he'll be back. If you were wrong, then you should still be happy for him because now he's succeeding in a place that you could take him.
Well, you know, Bill wants some of that shine. Like, I did this. Bill wants some of that shine.
And that's the biggest problem that you guys were saying originally, trying to live vicariously through your children. That you, like, you know, is LeVar Ball. I know y'all know LeVar Ball and all his sons.
Big baller brand.
Me. He's on all these shows. Dude, why are we talking to you, man?
Yo, he made a name for himself.
Strutting and stuff. Come on, man. Like, sit down somewhere.
But you know what? He got his sons more publicity. He really did do that. He did. I ain't gonna lie. Big baller brand, but he got too big for his britches. Go ahead, Cat.
He did an amazing job too. He taught 3 guys good enough to get into the NBA. He did an amazing job.
Yeah, he told the world, yo, my guys are good enough. They good enough. That's what he said until the son stole glasses and Donald Trump had to go make peace in China from the middle son stealing glasses. That was crazy, man.
And I think Brother Royce was on. I think he said something too. We were talking about his son when his sons worked with him. Yeah. So my first boss was my dad, and I'm here to tell you, if any of you haven't ever worked for your dad, lines get crossed. Truthfully, there is no lines. I remember one time, Mike, I called in sick. I had worked for 3 years. I had never called in sick. I decided one time I don't want to go to work. I'm calling in sick. I called in sick. I'm sitting there watching Video Music Box. My mom walks in the room. She goes, your dad said if you don't come in today, you fired. I said, what? So he calls me back. I go into work. I get there. I go, you said I was fired because I called him one time? He goes, get your apron, get your hat, get on the line and start working. I'm like, and it was at that moment that I go, nah, lines are being crossed there. When anybody else calls in sick, they get a sick day.
Yeah.
You pulled daddy on me right here. I told you to come in. And that is that's what Royce made a good point. That is very stressful that you have to kind of get from under them lines being crossed. Because when I call in sick for my job, I don't disappoint nobody. But every time I do something that's not right in what you believe, I disappoint you.
Yeah.
So that's a tough spot. Now, my dad was the greatest boss. And I'll be honest with you, I could work for anybody, Mike. After working for him, but it's those lines being crossed sometimes, and from the business perspective, and then the son gets a voice because he goes, "Yo, I'm the moneymaker here. I'm the one taking the shots in the ring. You stand on the side giving instructions, but I'm getting punched in the mouth."
Right.
So at some point, you got to respect me too, and I think sometimes that's what happens. The father's not giving him the respect he deserves.
You know, I want to say something else also too. I've been studying boxing since way back in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff happened in that fight where Haney didn't even know what he was doing. Like, he looked real amateurish, like a golden little fight. He just keep going with the jab. It wasn't much after that. He didn't know how to weave punches. He kept jabbing and then leaning to the right, jabbing and leaning to the right, trying to get out of the way whatever's coming back. And when you do that, and the guys see it a couple of times, all they got to do is throw an uppercut into a motion that they know you're going to make. You're going to be leaning down into an uppercut coming up. Devin Haney don't box on that superstar level. And that's because over time he haven't been gave the right instructions on what to do as you get against more experienced and greater fighters. He don't know what to do. So it's like he got to get around a better teacher. Right. Because there's a lot. If you know boxing real good, it's a lot of things he did wrong in that fight.
I think Floyd said something like that too. He was just mentioning you know, his jab or something he was mentioning, and he was like, yo.
He jabbing, his head's way up in the air, he's fighting, his chin's all exposed, and it get caught with the hook. And then after you get caught with the hook once or twice, you gotta know to start just blocking it for what's coming back. This guy still got his chin exposed in air and wasn't being told anything different of the instructions in his corners on how to get around what was coming at him, because Bill Haney don't know boxing like that.
Yeah.
And if you know about Bill Haney, Mayweather's father used to train the son, but then the father's mouth got so much that Mayweather's father had to quit because Bill Haney just talked so much shit that he ran Senior out of there.
Right.
And this guy could have been getting picked up on some valuable information that he don't have now. It's missing.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I don't even have the boxing expertise you might have, but I do know when I see the guys. I remember when Mike Tyson lost to Buster Douglas, and I remember watching that fight with my dad. And in the fourth round, Mike Tyson comes to the and he sits down, and his cornerman looks at Mike Tyson and goes, "Come on, Mike, you know what to do." I told my dad, Mike, the fight is over. Mike Tyson, for the first time, don't know what to do, and there's nobody to tell him what to do.
Because you know who was in his corner? You know who was in his corner at that time?
Mm-hmm.
His homeboys was in the corner that had blew up the glove and put cold water inside the glove and started icing his eye with a balloon. They didn't know what to do. But he got to a point where he knew it all, and he fired Kevin Rooney, and to save money, he had his homeboys in the corner that didn't know boxing.
He got with the brothers, man.
And that's what's happening now.
They got with your boys, Pat. They got with your boys from Farmers. They got with the Farmers crew.
I had Big Flo to go and ice my eye and telling me to keep the jab going.
Yo,
the real guy.
You know what's funny? Going back to what y'all was saying about the father and sons. I told my son yesterday, we was walking in the church, and I said, yo, because you know he a basketball head now. I said, yo, you know, Dad is all right. I ain't like the greats. I ain't one of those guys. I'm gonna take you as far as I can. Then one day, you know, you're gonna have to go to some other people, you know, to get some better training. Now you're gonna have to do that. And he just did like that. He don't really know, but he just was like, yo, Dad, I just want to go with you, man. Let's go with you because you're a good trainer. I'm like, that melts my heart and everything, but you know, come to a certain point, man, you know, he gonna have to go. He gonna have to get to some other people, man. Simple as that.
Yeah.
But I know that I'm being proactive about it and just prepare myself to fall back and be up in the rafters somewhere watching instead of down at the bottom yelling like a crazy parent. So that's just the advice to everybody on here who got kids. Stay out the kids' way, man, and let them grow. Let them get some wings and keep going. Give them a Red Bull.
Well, I'm glad, you know, and that's true. That's one of the most powerful things that you can say to your son, is because right now you are the greatest, you know, and you're the person that got him there. But sometimes if you don't examine your own self, your own limitations, you end up standing in your kid's way because you won't even admit that you don't know some things. And sometimes men from those cultures and older men, bro, they have a hard time admitting when they're wrong, when they just don't know something. Like it's their pride. And sometimes your pride, man, doesn't just crush you, it crushes the people that you leading around you.
Yeah. And it ruins the whole scenario. Like with me, right? I've been training my son since 4 years old for baseball. He's 14 years old now. But he been getting to the age where he's pitching, but I don't know all the little ins and outs about pitching. He need to be around a pitching train, which I take him to. And then I take also to you think a guy just swinging the bat. So much detail goes into swinging the bat, putting your hip into it, your weight on your back leg, on that. And I don't know all that stuff. So you need to hand them off, hand the baton off, because I want to win the race, not just be in the race. I want to win the race. So it's time to step to the side. You can still work them out at home. Y'all do y'all talk, but he got to go see other people too.
And I think, you know, my daughter's playing softball, Mike, and like that's one of the things I said to her. So conditioning and stuff taught today for her, and tryouts to start, and that's the first thing I said to her. You know, and taking her to the cage. I played baseball since I was 4 my whole life, and so I go, this comes natural, but I want to see what the coaches have for you because there's new techniques now.
Yeah.
There are different training things. They work on agility. You know, you may come back to me and I go, hey, wow, we never did that. So I don't want to get in the way of what the coach is going to teach you. What I want you to be able to do is have whatever I teach you and learn that. Now you're even more dominant because you go, well, I remember there's one secret dad used to tell me about swinging, watching the pitcher, watching certain things. But a lot of people don't want to get out the way. And when you look at even that movie I watched, King Richard, that was one of the struggles he was having. He got his daughters the way they need to get, but he was going back and forth with these other coaches.
With the other coaches.
Going, listen, they got greatness in them, and you going, no, they're not going to do this, they're not going to do that because you want to be the father. But if you don't listen, do we have Serena Williams? Do we have Venus Williams? Their greatness because other people can get them to a level. And my dad has always been like this. Even when it's Haney, if you were so great, why you ain't where I was? Like there's a difference. Like, so I don't want to talk bad about the dad at all, but I will say there's a reason you weren't great.
Right.
All this instruction you giving me, if it didn't make you great, then that means that I have a certain level of talent that you never had. So whatever worked for you, you were mediocre and you may be able to coach it and stuff and train me, but there's another level. You know, I need to talk to a dude that's 50 and old. He may tell me something.
But he's seeing things differently than he's saying, well, I could have done this different. So listen here, son, do it like this. So it could be that too, right? So that's why I said people are living through their kids, but they living through them through their shortcomings. You got shortcomings and they trying to build off that. What, Cat?
Yeah, also I'm going to say this too. What you just said, I can agree with that a little bit, but not 100% because Mayweather's father he has picked up over 70 years experience. He might not have been great in his career, but he picked up over 70 years experience, and he took what he learned as a man. He started giving it to Floyd at 2 years old, so he had more time in the incubator. That's why, if you ever look at the father, him and Floyd fight the exact same style. It's just Floyd learned it from 2 years old, and he mastered it by the time he turned 18. The father learned it as an adult. Okay. So Floyd mastered it before he got a chance to put it out there for the world to see.
Yeah, now, I got a question too, especially for the boxing guy, right? Because I hear this a lot of times. I don't know anything. I watch boxing. Yeah. I hear people all the time say styles make fights.
Yeah.
Right? So isn't it? And I'm asking you this because you have a son, and if you was training your son to fight, I believe I've seen this sometimes with Mayweather. I think Mayweather was great, but I do believe there was a fight or two that he never took, and people used to go, "Oh, well, why didn't he take it?" If styles make fights, I guess the point I'm asking is, from his father's perspective, Garcia looked like he wasn't a good matchup for his son. If that's true, not a good matchup, and he's susceptible to everything that this other fighter does well. Part of being the father, in my opinion, would have been not to take that fight at all.
Well, the reason why they take the fight is because, first of all, it's prize fighting. They in it for the money, right? Okay. And Devin Haney don't really have as much as money as you think it is, so they trying to get money. Because when he went over to the other country to fight Cambosis, where the kangaroos come from, right? Okay. Where the kangaroos come from, right? I forgot, Australia. He took a massive pay cut. The kid that he was going over there to fight, he got like 10 million. Devin Haney got about 2 million. But then they signed a clause for a rematch clause, and it was the same payout in the next fight. So he got robbed in 2 major fights, right? And then he came back and forth against the guy Regis Prograde, which nobody watched, another low-paying fight. So they finally had somebody in front of them that they was going to finally get a payday off of, so we can't pass this up. And Ryan never been a champ. He's a big name. He's a big name, right? So they finally get the money. Well, Ryan even got 55% of the money, and Haney is a champ, and he only got 45% of the money. So they was trying to get paid. And then they was glad for him to be overweight and got to pay that $1.5 million fine because, we even getting more money. We finally get money. But he really damaged himself in the long run because now he's never going to get the big money out of boxing that they thought they was going to get.
Yeah,
because
pay cut, last fight. Last big fight. First of all, I want to say Lakers with the backdoor sweep. That's number one. Yankees yesterday 15-2. And I hit a home run in a small park in PS 140 before. Mike never hit a home run. I hit a home run in PS 140 in baseball. Mike never hit a home run. Just want to be clear about that. You know what I'm saying? I played baseball, basketball, football. I hit a home run.
You play football?
Yeah, in the street. In the street.
Pole to pole? Pole to pole?
Pole to pole. Pole to pole. Pole to pole. Pole to pole. With Donnell, Tommy, West, South Side stuff. You know what I'm saying? Mike did a haircut. He's a barber. He's dead scrimpy. Just want to say that. You know what I'm saying?
It's definitely not.
One.
It's definitely smooth. And yours is missing. You know what I'm saying? Yours is gone. That's two. You never really was an athlete at anything. He wasn't good. He was just regular. You know what I'm saying? And let me say this. One more thing. You know what I'm saying? Get a new pair of glasses. Matter of fact, get some goggles, that you need to wear while you trying to play ball. You know what I'm saying? That's going to work for you. Go Knicks. Bruh, appreciate the love that you got on, Brief on Grief. You showing mad love to the Knicks. So you didn't mention anything about the 50 points with Embiid when you was talking that big time talk. So we ain't even talking about that no more. And Brunson is great. Brunson is one of the great Knicks. What can we say?
Boy, I will take that from him, man. You can't help but pull for him, man. He's I don't even know what to say. I feel bad that they're not giving him more consideration for MVP.
Underdog.
I really believe if you really look at it, he's the most valuable player.
Nah, he is. He is.
I'm still trying to figure out how Dallas let him leave.
I read an article on it, but Rick Brunson, the dad, got tied to the Knicks, man, and he, they like, yo, Rick, we get you in here too in the organization, and he could be the king of New York, and he slept on, and he don't have to be under, old boy shadow. He don't have to be in his shadow and coming off the bench. Remember, he was coming off the bench. He was that's
crazy.
He was a 6 or 7th man. And then now, like yesterday, his performance was like anytime he scores like a lot, like in a row, I'm just really amazed at the shots that he makes, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'd be so amazed at him. And I, I'm glad to be back on the, on the winning circuit a little bit, at least a little bit. Like we got a little light, you know what I'm saying? But I would want to know what it would be like if nobody was hurt and we was at full strength, even with Julius Randle, you know what I'm saying? I just want to know, like we can compete without him. So if we had him, his 20, 25 and 10, you know what I'm saying, that he gets, what would it be like? What would it be like? Because Milwaukee's out of here. Milwaukee's done. Right?
Oh, yeah.
They're done. And then we look like we're gonna play Indiana next. I'm already saying we're gonna beat Philly. I don't see Philly going 3 in a row against us. Not getting 3 in a row. I don't see that. That's too hard to do.
I think Brunson will give 50 himself before that happens. Like, I don't see that happen.
47, 3 points away, one more 3-pointer away, or N1. So, yeah, man, I'm feeling it, man. And tomorrow when I recap, I'm gonna be like, yo, man, we need to talk more sports talk because everybody joined in on this one. I knew Cat. As soon as Cat tapped in, I said, Cat, we need you on this one because you are our boxing analyst. You know what I'm saying? You the top. All the people I know a couple of boxing heads, but you actually been in the ring before, and you was you had before everything all messed up for you. You had a shot at being one of those dudes from Queens. That's one of those real athletes that made it. You know what I'm saying? You was on your way, so you are analyst. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sports is big, so you should always try to add sports to your thing. You get more people tuning in and all that like that. Yeah. Especially the latest controversy that's happening in sports.
Yeah, that Bill, man. Bill's a nut. T, would you like to tap in today? Planet Neptune podcast show. You know, we trying to get T. I try to get T to tap in with us, but I'm not sure what's going on with him. You know, he want to be in the dark. You know, shout out to Gary Bell, right? Chico. Oh, Chico did something.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say something too. That guy from your side of town, Gary Bell.
Yeah, from 40.
I remember him, and he had made his highest. He fought. I think it was Lennox Lewis.
He fought.
He was making it somewhere.
Yeah, the streets got him too, though. I think, right? Because he's been locked up a few times, but people was rooting for Chico and shit. They was rooting for him. I don't know him personally, but you know.
Yeah, 50 Cent said Chico stopped boxing and started doing robbery. 50 Cent was rapping about him too.
Yeah,
but he was going someplace.
And he was, what's his name? He was sparring with what's the name that had the house out here?
He training camp with Evander Holyfield.
Right. Yeah, he was in that.
Yeah, he was going places. They knew him in the game. He was going places.
Yeah. T said, he must have went to jail for robbery and shit. Like, how you? So we never know the story about the people that have a name for themselves. We never know. We just never know their story, man. It's always something going on. Just like, okay, switching lanes, right? Because, you know, we don't talk much about hip hop too much, but I really like to have to, if I could play the music in the background without the copyright infringement thing, I would play songs and say, remember this and remember that. But y'all remember Cool C and Steady B? Remember them from Philly?
Did they rob a bank?
Robbed the bank. You know, what's the name of the deceased? The first, I think she was the first African American female on the force, or she became like a lieutenant or something like that. And they murked her coming out the bank. That was crazy, man. But we don't know their story, Hilltop Hustlers. Like, you think if you're a rapper, you would think, hey, they getting a little bit of money, but I guess that money wasn't coming in, man. And that next single didn't work.
Especially back then. You know, a lot of these guys are, still doing shows now, unless you was like a mainstream guy, and they could really benefit off of your commercialism. A lot of those guys, man, they just never really got the money they're supposed to get, man. You hear a lot of these dudes don't own none of their publishing, they don't get no royalty. It's crazy, man.
Yo, you know who I would want to be that made it off of one hit? What's the name? Sir Mix-a-Lot, yo. He owned his own publishing. People try to buy his publishing, but he just said he let people use it. He's been making millions of dollars all since Baby Got Back was 89 or something like that, 90, something like that. Mm-hmm. Yo, he's still eating off of that, man. He just did a show with a symphony on the stage. With all these people on stage. I posted it, but yo, it was he's dope, man. He was smart too. He made sure I'm not selling my publishing for $1 million. I've been making that 10 times over on my own. Just doing that song, just one single. Smart dude. Yeah, I'm loving that, y'all. So we got 5 minutes, right? 6 minutes. And on the way out, Kat, what you got?
Oh, I say this right here is Tiger Woods' father showed that at a young age you need the father's attention. The father guide you to where you got. Maybe Chico didn't have his father in his life that would have helped him in the earlier years. So you can't downplay the father, because the father's is gonna really the only one that wants you to be better than him, right? So like don't get the wrong misperception that we say something about the father. The fathers just need to play their part.
Yeah.
But to get the overall pitcher that you started out to get, sometimes you got to take the back seat and let him, like, you know, you're a good high school teacher, but now you got to step out the way and let the college professors take over. You're still in the kid's life.
Get out the way. Get out your own way.
I'm going to leave it there.
Right. Brief on grief. What you got on the way out?
Well, I'll piggyback off of Cat, and I'm gonna be honest. Being on this, coming on here with you guys, and hearing Cat speak occasionally about his son and coaching him, I think he offers a great example that most father-son relationships could use. I see him tapping into this potential. Nobody knows the potential better than he does, like he said at an early age. But he finds a balance of not being able to hinder or interrupt the son's passion. What you don't want to do is, in that potential, be overbearing and the passion starts to leave. Like, I don't really want to do this. And I think Cap does a great job of that, where that's that balance. Like, my son is still passionate. I see the potential, but I also know my limitations.
Yep. So just like Prince was saying, Brunson is a great example. Definitely. I seen Rick, his dad, tell his son, yo, get over there and shut up and stay away and stop worrying about them silly fouls. You know, we'll watch him be the dad, but watch him fall back at the same time and still congratulate his son, let him spread his wings and do his own thing. So, you know, from everything that was said today, recapping, stay out your kids' way, take them as far as they can go, be a good listener, be a better listener, right, with your kids, and be the wise counsel at the same time. You know, that's what I get. So persistence always overcomes resistance, right? That's how we do Brief on Grief. That's what the show is about. You know, don't worry about yesterday. Yesterday was the past. Can't run from it, but you can learn from it. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow's the future. Don't run to that. Just keep going. Worry about today. Make today your best day. We are on the check-in. I thank everybody for tapping in today. We was talking sports talk, big time talks. Pass Squad, appreciate you for tapping in, man. We here every morning, 8:30, 9 o'clock, something like that. The Planet Neptune asked me, yo, Mike, what's the time? And I work on sticking to 8:30, but it might change. So right now, we still on the check-in in the morning, 8:30, close to 9. We here till about 10 for everybody who don't know. And that's it. That's what's up. Peace and love. See y'all later.
Okay. Yeah.
Yo, later. Pass. Appreciate you, man, tapping in. Definitely like, you know, when you're kicking it and getting some wise words from you, brother. So peace and love, man. See you later.